What's going on, champions? How's everybody doing? Welcome. I'm the solution artist, Bobby F. Perihar. So super blessed to do this right now. Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm about to bring on Francesca. She's a great friend of mine, amazing client of mine. You guys know this woman. If you didn't see our go live that we did a little while ago, you have got to see it. Okay, and this things will make a little bit more sense here because of what's about to happen. And welcome, guys. This is going to be so super cool. Absolutely. Hey, Ma. Hey, Tony. Chantel. What's going on, guys? Great timing. Okay. Like, you may not last the full hour. I get it. I understand. We do a lot of stuff in here. But for the next whatever amount of time you do have the consciousness and the attention span for, there's a powerful message for you guys. Okay. So, Tony. It's the 6 month, 6 day, okay, on a 3 year, you add this all up and it becomes a 6 day that we're all in right now. And this six number is one of the most highly coveted numbers in all of numerology. And we're super excited to share with you guys what this energy and vibration actually means. So I'm just going to give Francesca a couple of minutes to come on. And, we did a little background on Francesca. What's going on, Jason? How you doing? There she is. Little background. I'm just gonna see if I can I pull you in? Can I see if I can pull you in here? It doesn't let me add you. I don't sure what's going on. If you can request add to come in, Francesca, that would be great. And then that way it'll request that you're going. I'm trying to add you, but it doesn't look like I'm able to add you. So it's funny because the last time we did this, the same kind of thing happened, and we were unable to get the go live going. It took us a long time to figure it out. But if you can try to request to come on live, that would be awesome. Okay, so let me know if you're having any issues or troubles. And if we do have to start again, then it's what? This is going to be fun. This is going to be amazing. And I'm so super excited to share this with you guys. Even to the point where, we'll have to start this 100 times if we need to. But the day is lit. My friend is here. This is going to be a powerful move. Let me know in the comments, Francesca, if you're unable to get on. I just want to make sure that you can. But, oh man. Wow. I almost feel like I don't want to spill too many of the beans, but let's get into this. Okay. While we're figuring ourselves out, let's get into this. I do numerology for people. Okay. So not only do I coach people inside of a one-on-one session to help you reclaim some power in your life, but I also teach the language. I also teach the language of numerology so that you can, figure out on your how to read numbers. Can you imagine how powerful that would be to know who you're talking to, know what numbers are showing up for you in your life, figure out the meaning of what happens when you see 1111 or 111 or 222 all the time. I haven't got the option. Can we start again? Yeah. Okay. It looks like we're gonna have to start again. So if you guys are patient with us, come and join us in a few minutes. Once we figure this thing out, it's going to be so super cool. We're talking about the power of the day and also something really cool that's happening. So let me just see if I can try one more time. Yeah, it's not allowing me to add you. So let me see if I can do it like this. And let's go invite. Let's try it. So I'm going to see if I can invite you, see if that works. And I just sent an invitation to Francesca. If it comes on, it does. If it doesn't, Francesca, you want to make sure your phone is sideways. And what else? I think we're going to have to try to figure that one out. So just going to let you try and then confirm with me if you can. And if you can't, we'll start again. We'll figure it out. We're very optimistic. It took us a long time to figure it out last time, but it was a very powerful conversation that we ended up having. And it's crazy. Sometimes you have to move spiritual energies around in order to actually achieve this level of communications we're about to do. I can imagine that not everybody's going to be cool with it, right? And the reality is that, we're speaking for a light work. We're doing something to help create power. And whenever that happens, there's going to be resistance. If you want to do this in life, there's going to be resistance. If you want to go out and make something happen, the universe, the world is going to test you based on where you have been and not where exactly it is that you're going. So, Francesca, let me know. Did it give you the option? I'm just going to try to add you one more time, see if it's in there. It's not letting me do it. So what we'll do is we're going to come back, guys. Hang tight if this is what you're doing with your day. I have a very, very powerful I'm only in portrait. It says join Bobby's live. Try it in. Oh, okay. So let me see here. Mine has a green icon. Let's see if I can get you in there. Cool. Approve. Let's add you. Adding. Did we do it? Did we do it? Oh, hold on. It says adding, and it's kind of the Facebook finger drum is doing this. So let's get synced up. We're about to dive in. Oh man, this is gonna be so much fun. I just sent a request. Okay, cool. So it says adding. Let's see. Let's let it figure itself out. So she's a client of mine, and I taught her numerology, and then quickly recognized that this woman was a no answer from the live video guest. Let's just try one more time, and see if I can get you in. See, it won't let me add you from here. So and she'll come back. So if you left and came back, try it again. And yeah, because I can't add you right now. So she quickly let me know as a client of mine inside of my mastery program that she also does spiritual work herself inside of the Palladian light force, or I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but she does Palladian star work. Okay, here we go. Let's try this one more time. And our conversation was like really awesome because old soul friend of mine, and we became friends immediately. I felt hey, there you are.
Hey, here I
I'm
am.
going to try to do a little introduction here. Just bear with me for a minute. Oh, it's been so much fun. We don't have to start our live again. Okay. So, you quickly showed up in my life as a person of authority, as someone who is extraordinarily powerful, and that you had massive levels of gifts. I knew this. I know this. Okay. I knew this. And curiously, can you see the comments, Francesca, right now? Can you swipe over? Do they show up or are
No,
they blank for you? Try
I'm going to
swiping the
try.
screen, either left or right. Try swiping the screen and see if it moves the
No,
comments over. Okay,
it
so
doesn't. It doesn't with
I'll have to
mine.
read them as they come, but you can also go onto your computer and see it there.
Yep.
So I quickly recognized you as a person of interest, a person of absolute spiritual value, and you had this old soul vibe inside of you that was like unreal. And we became instant friends. I met your son, and I was like, oh my god, and the force of nature that this little kid is. I looked at you with this revered respect, being like, "Who are you?" And then the conversation continued to grow deep. It's been almost about a year. You surfaced up in my world again, and you said, "Hey, I want another session." So we had this conversation, and we had a session between us. Three people booked me in, right? So Francesca's talking to me, and we're basically going through some stuff and getting a numerological perspective. But I felt like I was plugging in to a very strong force of light. Like you plug into like a really big battery charger. And I got a chance to open up my satellite because of this woman. So we got to thinking, we're like, oh, we need to do a go live. I want to interview you. I need to go out there and like share your story with people. And then we did. And this is where this gets really interesting because her and I were having this conversation about how currency and wizardry and magic and wealth and all of this bigger mind stuff is coming to us. And we're like trying to reconcile the wealth conversation with the spiritual conversation. And I'm like, I've been saying this. Current is a currency. Electricity is also measured in wealth, and wealth is now measured in computers. And like, we're just like having mind blasts talking about this. And then, she was like, we're going to do a go live. And I'm like, okay, this is it. We're going to get this done. And we had a very profound, absolutely healing, wonderful, amazing conversation that turned into a lot of business for you, Francesca, because I mean, I get it. Like, the people who work with me, they're going to take my advice. And when I'm like, yo, stop what you're doing and go and see this woman, I based on your energy frequency alone, I didn't even have my experience yet, guys. I didn't even have my own experience yet. I was basically just recommending her because I of the powerful energy I knew her to be. So we were scheduled to do a go live number 2, and this was a few days ago. And she was like, well, why don't we do your reading first, your session? I'm like, can we do it online? She's like, absolutely not. I'm like, okay, fine. So, I was like, okay, well, let's hang out and let's go through this Palladian stuff, right? And I want to hear what you have to say. And I felt, and people were making fun of me on our Go Live. I don't know if you saw the comments. They're like, look at Bobby's face. I'm like, oh, like you were talking, and I'm like, oh, I was like a kid in a candy store. I think that's what someone called me. I was like a deer in headlights, and I was just like, wow, this is profound. It hit me at a very beautiful place in my soul, and it lit up something within me that changed the trajectory of my life. And I promise you guys, I'm not underselling this. This woman absolutely dived deep. So I was like, okay, cool, Palladian stuff. I know that there's like an alien race out there, this cosmic super spiritual beings, and they're going to teach us stuff. And, we don't know what we're really talking about as human beings. So we got to take this divine message. I had no idea. Okay. Like we were like, okay, let's hang out for this call. And we hung out for this call, and I was, she's like, oh, I had to get out of my office. And she set up in her car, and I'm like thinking my spirit guides are laughing. I'm like, this is like a spaceship. We're gonna go somewhere. We're in a vehicle. And she just basically she was kind of explaining to me how the process works. And I won't tell people exactly that, because I mean, she's like, I talk with my hands. We're gonna shuffle things around, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do that all the time. Like I don't call it that, but we're kind of like moving the machinery of the planet within our own field in front of us. So I'm like, cool, yeah, I like the cut of your jib. Let's do this. She goes on to help me. And if everybody ever seen Doctor Strange, if you ever seen the movie Doctor Strange, the lady, she does this, and then she does this thing to the guy, and then he falls out of his body, and then there's his spirit self and his physical self. This is what she did to me. She literally, and it wasn't just one reflection either. She went and literally put me between two mirrors and extended my vibration generations deep. We did some deep work and healing of stuff that happened in past lives. So if you don't get really into this stuff, I appreciate your patience here. For me, I'm like, you're an infinite consciousness being. Nothing is new under the sun. Like, you've been here before, and I see old souls every day, and this woman is definitely one of them. She's a mentor, a friend, and absolutely so super wise inside of my life. And I appreciate you, love you so much, Francesca, for everything that you've done. It's hard to actually put into words because of the magnitude of what you can accomplish when you're not hanging on to the baggage and the old ripped packages of things that happened to people in your timeline, and it's not even yours. And how many times has that happened? And especially when I work with people, I'm like, you got your grandparents' names, their middle names, and then the family names are passed on. So from a numerological perspective, you're holding on to you're bearing the sins of your forefathers automatically. Okay, so I get it. We're all going through that, but she makes it so real and so super powerful that I wanted to bring you back again, talk to you more. And we came up with something pretty cool for you guys. So you're gonna want to hang out with us until the end. We're gonna be here until the top of the hour, perhaps maybe a little bit longer. I don't want to take everybody's time, but this will be a wonderful cast to listen to. And when I say cast, I mean we're taking our consciousness and we're whipping it out into the universe right now, and we're gonna see who actually wants to hang out by the light. Francesca, how are you? It's great to have you here.
Hello, I love it. It's 222.
222
Two
on a
two two.
6-6 day. What a divine gateway to
Yes.
be opened right in front of us. I just want to quickly say a special prayer that this is a numerologically enhanced time to allow love, healing, connection. 2 + 2 + 2 is 6. It's a 6 day. It's a 6 month. The life path day if you're born today, it's a 6 day in total. So we're dealing with a lot of 6 energy right now. And 6 stands for, in numerology, balance, wealth, healing, creation, lineage, generational wealth, communication, spiritual. It's divine. It's the center. It's the heart force. So what we're going to be doing with you guys here today is shifting some energy for you, enlightening you in ways that you may have been dormant for many, many, many moons. And I am so blessed to be around you while we're doing this, especially in a 222 gateway. I do want to zip up and let you kind of like take the show here, because once I turn this thing on, guys, Francesca is not going to stop. She's going to give us some powerful value, and I hope that you guys really appreciate this message, because for me, this is like, it's such a blessing. So, Francesca, how are you?
Hi, I'm feeling really great. Thank you. It's been an extraordinary time in the last, well, May was a huge month. I feel from the feedback that I've had through clients and my own personal experience, it was a really big month. So if you survived May, June is going to be fantastic. It's like riding that wave, once all the stuff's come up, but not everyone will ride the wave, because there are still people sorting through what's been in the depths of their ocean or their abyss. That's all coming up, and it's all good. I mentioned to you that I felt that as a soul, I've got, there's a portal of time between that opened up for me between 2015 and 2023. So that's only just from information that I was given back in 2012. So it's a really important period of time for me to actually do this work, to be as to do as much as I can with as many people as I can, not just one-on-one, but collaborate and do it on a mass level in group settings as well. And where I used to question, like 3-4 years ago, how would I do this work on a group level? Now I just know that I don't need to figure it out. I just need to say, yes, I'm available and I'm open. And I love collaborating with your energy. We were just saying before, we think we must have been soul twins or something like that in some other life, because we literally speak what it is in each other's head.
Yeah, we were having a conversation in our head, and I like to think of, I recognized you as soul family when I met you, especially when I met your
Mm.
son, and the light that I shed on him, the light he shed on me, the light you shed on us. It felt like you were holding the cosmic mother card, or the cosmic family
Yeah.
mentor, or something that was going to help grow us. And I appreciate you being in my life for that. So yes, absolutely, soul twins. And that for me would be a very big like star on my shirt, to think, whoa, we were twins at a soul level. That's powerful. I would just be as humble as far to say, hey, I'm in your family. But if you want to go as far as to
Yeah.
think, hey, we're connected, that makes me feel like super powerful.
Yeah. So, soul family, soul grouping family. Yeah, definitely. There's a collective group of consciousness that travel together through different times, that actually come in to assist with the shift of frequencies required to activate that crystalline energy grid around the planet that they're incarnated in. So there's a lot of information that's been coming through since we spoke last live. And yeah, it's actually really exciting. Yeah, it's such an exciting time to be on the planet right now. I've
Absolutely.
been
You
waiting
said this.
for it all my life.
Well, heck, I feel like, getting on a really super spiritual level for you guys. We get beat up in life, and sometimes my friend was even saying we all have our cross to bear. We all have our own persecution to go through,
Mm,
and when we can
mm,
surrender to the vortex, we stop getting like bumped around in it, and we can actually flow in through it.
mm,
And this is so close to the center that you may almost want to hide. You may almost want to feel like it's not the right time, or it needed a certain environment. You couldn't just say stuff like this. The temperature wasn't set. When we even talked, you removed certain words from my vocabulary because of the fact that I was afraid, and I had this fear of judgment and insecurity
mm.
of who I am. And stepping forth into this light, shoulder to shoulder, with my gal pal here, like it makes me feel so much more healthy to think that we can speak in a truth, we can speak in a conversation that speaks straight from the heart and straight from the soul. Spirituality to me is a really big topic. And to find an absolute sage in this industry, I get it. A lot of people I've worked with a lot of people, and I love the experience that I've had with everyone. But this one was profound. Like I have to tell you guys. And if you by chance worked with Francesca already as a result of our conversation, or even before, I would love it if you guys like said something about it, or like commented on it, or wrote a post, tagged her in it, tagged whatever it was, to let the people know that there is this spark of light in this seemingly darkness that we've plunged into. We're the light workers, right? And you even said it. You're like, we came in here together to activate. We're flicking switches on in people, and we're like turning the lights on and helping some of the kids get them a bath and like clean themselves up for the real work you were here to do on this planet. And I mean, I get it. We're all kind of hiding behind this business inside of our community. We're, entrepreneurs and online entrepreneurs. It's bigger than that. You're helping people unshackle themselves from the slavery of the almighty dollar, and you got to get a job, and this new digital economy. Like, you're out in Australia, I'm out in Vancouver Island, Canada. We're having a simultaneous conversation spanning the globe
Mm.
right now, and it's nuts to think that we did it. We created the grid. We not quite what we
Yeah,
were thinking, but we're using it. We're going to use it anyway, whether it's, just this internet or not. But we have an internet that's webbed
we
across
have.
us that we get a chance to dance on. It's so
Yeah.
super powerful. I can't believe this. I mean, I'm alone in my room right now talking to my phone. I'm talking to a piece of plastic on a radio, and it's like nuts to think that we're out here having a profound experience. We're connecting souls and connecting hearts. Absolutely, you're one of my soul tribe. You're one of my exalted gurus in my life. I promise you guys this. I enlist my mentors, and to have Francesca in my world is one. It's one of the most healing experiences inside of my soul's journey. She had to activate me, and I get it. Maybe I turn on a couple switches for you. You turn on a couple switches for me, and we kind of just keep dancing this thing back forward. It's almost like having a really good workout buddy, or having a really good
Mm,
accountability partner. That when you
mm,
are ready, I'm ready. I'm ready to go when you
mm,
are. Let's do this. Okay. And we're both seeing each other to the next level. So this conversation is absolutely not even close to slowing down. We're only getting started. It's going to be a very profound thing that happens. So can we? You're the one who told me about the gateway. I was like, I'm oblivious to this because I was like, I was gonna do my stuff, but then I was like, oh, it's a 6-6 gateway. I'm like, say what? And I looked at the numbers again. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. This is going to be a pretty profound day for a lot of stuff. Like, people are going to ask me, well, so what's up? And I'm going to have a lot to tell them. So, and I'm like, why? And because the channel is like open and on, and there's so much conversation coming in, I'd love for you to download onto us and let us know, what does this gateway mean to you? Like, what are we to expect about this new grid? What do you even mean by grid? And like, where are we going in this next? Because I had a tough May, personally, financially, emotionally, spiritually. It was a big shifting and a big fight that I went through, and I made it. Some people literally died, literally are no longer on the planet. A friend of mine stillbirthed his little baby girl, and she didn't even have a chance to take her first breath. Like, imagine that there's a big fight going on. I'd love to know, what does this mean on the spiritual world?
Oh, so where do you want me to start?
You connected with me about the 6-6. You're like, we should talk,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, so can we start there?
So when I saw it was going to be the 6th of the 6th, I quickly thought, wow, and we're in an Earth year 3, so that's a 9. So that's really massive, because for me, 9 is completion. You call it the God number. Uh, I can't remember. You call it something, but I look at the 9, and it's when you look at someone's face. Have you heard about all of our chakras are situated on our face? So when I channeled my numerology back in 2007, I actually channeled it from a somatic, so a body. So I would look at the 9, and I would actually say, okay, what does it feel like to be a 9? And then I realized the 9, when you put it on the face, is like comes around here. So yeah, so just imagine the 9 starts here. So that's all of your divine intelligence. It's your higher consciousness. And then it's like bringing, because it's a full circle. So it's like you bring all of your higher intuition and then you anchor it into your physical field, because this is what the chin area is, our physical platform, our physical reality. So 9 for me is actually really, really special. And it comes all the way across this area. Stands for your identity. So I learned psychosomatic therapy, and I learned mind-body communication and body language. And so I work with the face. So that's just, so when I looked at the 9, I go, oh, well, this is going to be such an opportunity for people to come full circle and then actually create or manifest or bring in whatever it is that's been leading them into this particular moment in time. It also means that what can come full circle is the process that they've been in. And it's the 6 is that birthing. You call it, like you mentioned something about, it's all about family, love, relationships, long-term stability. The 6 is that birthing of the new life, isn't it? Oh, it's just so beautiful. It's like new creation, new ideas coming into their own. Yeah, such a beautiful vibration. When I first connected with you a few days ago and I tuned into the 663, so I go 663, they immediately started to bring in about the crystalline grid that we're creating around our planet. There's some negative conversation going on out there around this slavery matrix that the earth has been caught in. I really don't buy into that at all. I feel like our soul, at a soul level, decided to come in and experience physicality in duality. So we needed to experience the polarization of all of that. What creates this life is love, is the energy of love. So, love can never be separated or divided. It always is. But it has conditional states. Love in itself is unconditional. However, you can experience conditional states of love. And of course, we incarnate into a physical body. We take on the skin of our heritage, our lineage. So, it's like wearing an overcoat. And so that, together with what your soul is wanting to come in and experience, is so profound. When you look at it and you stop playing the blame game or looking at it as being good or bad, when you're able to actually step out of that game, there's such a beauty and richness in the human experience of the soul.
Absolutely true. And I want to just double on that because, like, when you're talking about this overcoat, this thing that you wear, this meat sack, this body, this biomechanical machine, like, I think that love is this feeling of a safety mechanism that says, I want to see things grow. I want to be that artist of God, to say, I want what I create to go on and to be happy. And, the books are saying that we're created in God's image, right? I'd like to take this one further, and we're actually like the breath. And my friend said this: we are the living God. Like, we are the living God
We
on this planet,
are.
and we get a chance to experience each other, and it's so divine. She's like, oh man, we were soul twins. I'm like, it feels like a mirror reflection of each other. It's not like it feels almost like the same soul is just experiencing itself in so many different
Yeah.
realms that
Yeah.
we've scattered across this universe in such a way. And it's so cool because now this is the unity consciousness. We're creating that grid
Yes.
to really combine and come back to center. It's so super
Yes.
cool. This is
It's
nuts.
so super cool. Yeah, I love that you mentioned the breath, because this is what I see when I see God's breath. we'll call it God or divine. It's like the out breath is when the sparks go out to create life, and the in breath is when we actually come back to oneness. It's just beautiful. The out breath is creation of life. And it's exactly what we do when we want to create in our life. Anything we want to do, anything at all, you know, we put effort in. We become the creator, the creation, and the participant in it. It's
So
super
profound.
cool.
Well, because the thing is that I've been in a fog. I have been, pumping myself with drugs, self-loathing, defeat. I had like self-worth issues, and oh my gosh. And like I was trapped in a cloud. And we walk around in this cloud, unable to actually see the true reflection of the planet, because stuff gets splashed on your windshield screen, and you can't quite your instrumentation doesn't work very well anymore because you're not giving yourself the same dose of body chemicals, you're getting them synthetically, and then
Mm,
so we adopt into that slavery mindset. So I'm glad that you're like, nope, not buying that story, because
no.
that's what we need to be free, is for someone to put up their hand and be like, this isn't what you think it is. We're incubating, we're waiting to be activated till the certain consciousness got to a certain point, and this is where the star seeds and the angel children and the crystal kids and the rainbow children and all this new vibration of earth is actually really taking over. And I like to blame technology for this. Like, things are moving at a higher rapid speed, but it's still really slow in my understanding of how fast spirituality can work, because in an hour
Mm,
we went like 10 generations deep in my
mm,
past. And for those of you who don't really get into past life regressions or timeline regression therapy or healing, trust me on this. It helps to have an open heart and an open mind to what could be
mm,
possible. You don't know. You can't have cognitive dissonance anymore. Like, there's
mm,
so many cool things out there that who are we to say, oh, it sounds, super strange, so maybe, I'm going to classify it as that. I think that's a safety mechanism. And to unload that conversation that I was having with myself, it felt like you freed me. It felt like you were like, open the cage, and you're like, bash the shackles. You're like, you're never putting those on again. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you for saving my life. And that's what it felt like. Because afterwards, I was like, I was sitting there for a while. I'm like, what just happened? What just happened? And I was entertained because you were like, oh, I'm gonna move stuff around, and you would explain this holographic computer grid that you work with. I'm like, oh, you've got my attention, and this is gonna be so fun. And then and then halfway through our session together, she's in her car in a parking lot. I'm like, you must look so funny because people are always looking at you, and you're like doing this, and like you must have like a persistent mosquito in your car, and here she is like moving my spiritual energies and delete, and like I'm like, this is so cool because I could feel that with like you close your eyes and I could almost see you pressing these buttons on this keyboard of my life, and it's a profound experience. I mean, for some people who are not into that kind of thing, perhaps you're like, I don't know what I'm looking for, but for someone, and for my audience and the people who work with me, we know, we feel it. We feel the hurts and the pains of others. We feel the joys and the, like, the bigger mechanism of what's happening on the planet. Like, we're a part of it and we're connected to that. So, 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 so super cool. So I just wanted to add in on that. So what else? What else? So it was a really cool experience. Like, you came to me in a time of need, and I hadn't had this experience, and yet I hadn't had it. And when I did, it was nothing what I thought it was going to be. I had no idea you were gonna dig deep, deep down and be like, "Oh, what's that? I
mm.
found something," and like help me clear it. I had no idea that was gonna go down. I had no idea you use a spiritual mechanical grid. Can you see the comments?
No, I can't see them.
Okay,
Even on my computer, I can't see them at all.
okay. So Anna is saying you have to tell me what that means. So Anna, if you could reiterate what she said, and then that way she can go into it. And then also there was another comment. Kylie says, "Yes, yes, yes. We are a reflection. We are all one." I see. We're preaching to the choir here. These are the people who are open, and we are collecting now. Like, we're actually collecting
as activators and enablers and instigators and abundance magnifiers and manifestors and influencers. And oh my gosh, it's so super cool to think that this is a great time to be alive. Remember, my friend just came, he's like, so
Mm,
how you been? And I'm like, I haven't seen this guy in like 2 years. And I'm like, really blessed, really blessed. Like I look around and I love my life and everything is going so amazing. Great. We all have problems. I'm gonna put them in my little problem box. Even my problems are amazing. I love the problems that I have. But you get into such a love with life to think that this is heaven on earth. This is what we were doing. And the next guy over, we're driving down the street. Two people are like this in front of each other. They're like, ah, and they're like, like fighting. And they must be experiencing a literal hell to think that they're
mm,
this like on the side of the road about to get into fisticuffs. And we're like, and I'm sitting there like thinking, I'm so blessed. It's nature, my family. I got this business. I'm going to do a go live tonight. And then someone else out there is experiencing the darkness and they're in their shadow version of themselves. And
mm,
we all experience this dichotomy inside of us. I just like to think that if you're
mm,
confident enough to go in there, there's a gem, there's a diamond waiting for you inside of
mm,
that big rock that's holding you back.
mm. Absolutely, 100%. And I love, like, people love to see reflections of themselves that are the light, that are all happy and positive, but they're really not happy and they want to discard where they're reflecting the the part of their light that's actually stuck in darkness. So when you were talking about the shadow world and or your shadow and having like something where you're stuck, the way I used to see it when I first started doing this work was I used to see your spark of light a little bit like an atom or a molecule. You have your spark of light and then all the dark matter around it, and then it was almost like it was just so stuck. So years ago I used to do intuitive massage, and I would scan the body, work on the body, be drawn exactly to what area I needed to work, and all I would just do is just go really deep to access the light and then break that. Well, now I know that they would have been beliefs and uh, programs and indoctrinations that were actually keeping that spark stuck, part of their light, part of their life force and essence. So as soon as you release it and it goes through that assimilation process, you're going to feel more energized, you're going to feel more centered, you're going to feel more present in your body because there is more of you, more of your essence available to you to actually be present right now in this moment, because it's only in this moment that we can create the change, whether it's
Mm.
past or future. So I have I have this knowing that right now we're in that now moment, and we can either create a future that we've already experienced, like part of that same cycle, or we can actually make choices to create a future or a life we've never experienced. So then we're breaking free of that old karmic matrix slavery. Because when we talk
Mm.
about the slavery matrix, we're the ones that are enslaved, but we're the ones doing the enslaving.
Mm.
So in the clearing, the Palladian light work, the frequencies I connect to and the beings of light that I connect to, what happens is they're a much higher vibrant frequency. So as I connected with you and saw what actually was of highest priority for you to clear and how it was showing up in your life now and how it has in the past, so that it doesn't, once you clear it, it doesn't have to be passed on to your children unless their soul chooses that experience, because we never interfere with free will.
See, like this inspires me to want to tell people about what happened, but I'm weary of this because you're like, don't give it energy anymore. But can
Yeah,
I at least
you can
can I
talk
at least say,
about you can talk about your experience, But you might not want to talk about the contracts that we cleared and who they were with.
Okay. So,
So,
because the thing is that, like, after our
yeah,
conversation, uh, I had conversations with people that were in direct correlation to what I would look like if I was no longer blocked in that area. So,
yeah,
you know, you
sure.
could apply this to love, you could apply this to business, you could apply this to wealth, apply this to the self. But usually I wouldn't be having these conversations of power. And yet now my confidence was in a place that says, look, I'm not going to let that hold me back anymore. And I'm actually going to go out there and be a person of value, a person of interest, and to actually grow myself in that direction. And it's profound. It's profound, guys. Because I was looking back, I'm like, huh, interesting. And it's interesting how this mega mechanical cosmic force is playing
Mm,
its course on us. And you know, you get a chance to choose: are you going to reinforce, or are you going to like spank, like spur off the wheel and start your own cycle, or make a choice and become a different part of the fractal? Because back to numerology, there's only 9 numbers, and we're living in a
mm,
finite reality existence of duality 3D. Like, everything is a dense energy down here. And so there is a systematic system of rules that we play by that I like to give you the handbook to within numerology. So I quantify this information. But as we were talking before we were live, we were chatting, and you were telling me about how I play a part in helping people recognize and upgrade their vibration, but they still have to go through their own healing. They still have to go through their own journey. They still have to actually approach that energy in order to continue moving it forward. It's not just as easy as putting a name on. And that's why I warn people, I'm like, don't expect something weird to happen. You absolutely have to drive your business. You absolutely have to go and get yourself out there and go and meet the people you need to go. Like, you gotta do something. You can't just expect a name to take over and to do that. Angelica saying you're speaking directly to my soul. Jesse said, I can't wait to watch this tomorrow, 1 a.m. here. Something for sure. You absolutely will love this. Kylie saying timeline healing is so very powerful. Kylie, if you have not yet had the opportunity and the pleasure of having Francesca, put her hands through your closets, you absolutely need to get this experience, guys. I will be promoting your work. I was like, you need to be on my stage. Yeah, we have already had that conversation. But yes, there's a combination effect of, what I've been shown, and then also my small little human 34-year-old body. I'm still uncovering some of my ancient soul gifts. I don't have that
mm,
same level of confidence that you do to talk into generations deep timeline therapy. Like, that's a really big thing for me. And to think that I'm part of this conversation makes me feel validated as a human being, as a soul. I'm not going crazy. I got people on my side. We got people that are actually working this with us, and it's elevating our
mm.
consciousness and our base from the heart. So 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 powerful. Cool. Okay. So what else happens? So you yeah, go for it.
I was just going to say, I remember for years I always felt so alone in what in my gifts and what I was here to do. I really tried very hard for a long time to downplay it, just so that I wouldn't be ridiculed. And then um, I started getting this year. I got to, I think it was April or May. I can't remember now because time kind of becomes uh, timeless in my world, as you can imagine. But then all of a sudden it was like, wow. Oh, yes, it was actually after you and I spoke before the live when I said to you, I think there's something that I can't quite get, and I need you to just do some tweaking with me. And it was around, oh, yeah, it, it was definitely around age for me, and thinking, well, when is this really going to start happening? What's going on? Like, I've been for the last 15 years completely dedicated to this work, and yet somehow it just, I didn't feel like I was really opened up to it, opening up to it. So the trajectory of my life completely changed in 2012. It was almost like my life had to completely stop, where I became unemployable, not able to continue in the healing work I was doing before and really dedicate to opening myself up back to the Palladian energy light work. So there are lots of different frequencies and beings out there. I don't actually necessarily see them in a form. I like to connect with the actual frequency. I feel much more comfortable where I don't have to put a form. But sometimes I do get shown a form and they can look very different to what we look like. And I'm okay with that. But after I spoke to you, or around the time I spoke to you leading into it, all of a sudden, it was what you said. You said, Francesca, you've got to connect in with who you were when you were 15, 16, 17. And as soon as you said that, I thought, yes, that's what I have to bring her back up into my energy field. Because, like everyone thought she was a bit weird, but they didn't mind her. She was very eccentric for her age. And I go, yeah, I can really embody being eccentric now. I'll be 60 next year. I can do that. And all of a sudden, there was a part of myself I accepted and allowed to come through that I had actually hadn't acknowledged or remembered, but that gateway opened. And then I go, it's just the timing. It's the timing. So when I met you, I knew, and we were doing the course together, and I remember saying to you, we've got to do a Palladian Lightwork session together. And you're going, yeah, sure, yeah. And I go, damn, he's not ready yet. So quite often I do pick up stuff way ahead of time, and I just have to wait. So waiting has been such a skill I've had to learn. And understanding the timing, because, it's like if you take a kid from prep or grade 1 into grade 5 or grade 6, you just can't. It just doesn't work. You can't feed a newborn baby a food that he can't actually digest. So that's the way I explain it. That's the way I explain it.
I have a 6-month-old and I keep giving him stuff that I probably shouldn't be giving him.
The human body is very intelligent, though. So I kind of went off track there a little bit, Bobby.
Well, the thing is that you're telling me this conversation, and I don't usually remember people's charts, but when you're telling me this stuff, I'm like, see, it's cool for me to be on the numerology side of this, to see what you're talking about show up as the dealing of your cards.
Yes.
And because your name that you're born with, just to quickly spill the beans on you for everyone here, says solid, stable, on the ground, be loyal, be very practical, logical. So there's going to be a very strong level of bubble wrap and packaging and styrofoam that contains this very spiritual object on the inside, but there will be a very finite, real, I've got to be a mother, I've got to raise my kid, and and all this stuff that shows up that will be the service you're doing to help you bide your time. And then when you get to that point of activation, because I was looking at this, and you're like, yeah, when we met, I'm like, you've changed. You're not the same woman anymore. You've grown so much, and you've got this charisma and this energy and this confidence in you that's not labored, or it's not trying to be. It's authentically inviting. And not to say that when I met you it wasn't there, but when I met you we weren't doing Go Lives together. And you were like, oh, we're gonna do it. I'm like,
I was hiding.
Sounds great, but right. And that's probably why I was like, oh, sure, because if you were hiding, so was I. And I wasn't ready to talk about the things that I was dealing with inside of my life. I hadn't gone on that journey of hiring coaches, professionals as a way to lead up and meet you. It hadn't happened yet. So for me, I guess
absolutely.
I have a really big one to learn from you, to think timing. It's okay to be on divine timing. You need to respect the clockwork of the universe to know that you're truly ready for it. But even because we were looking at it, so maybe it's the name, right? You wanted to come up with something else. And it's interesting because my middle name is Francisco and you're Francesca. And so it's kind of a very intertwined level of numbers. And you're like, oh, soul twins, soul reflections. right? And then
Soul
when I'm
reflections, yeah.
but the thing is that when we put your name together, we discussed this and we're like, let's add an extra S in there. When I looked at my name that I'm about to take when I get legally married and stuff, I'm putting an extra S in my middle name, Francisco, as well. So I'm going to respell it so that I can actually move the vibration forward a little bit. And it's interesting because this is the difference, just so people kind of understand the difference between Francesca and Francesca, okay, with an extra S in it. The first, or Francisco versus Francisco with an extra S in it. The original spelling of these names are like are holy, divine, quiet, not saying anything, protecting of an information, withdrawn of an information, not connecting outward with it, but being the custodian or the steward
Mm,
of this and protecting it. Whereas now you put that extra tweak in it, and then now it speaks it out. And now it's like, okay,
mm,
now we're ready to open this up and pour it for people, share with people the good word, and divine onto others the light that they've been missing in their lives and help people grow through. So when we get a chance to do this now, numerologically speaking, I'm like, the stage is set. I'm ready to do this. I'm not going to be afraid of numbers. I'm going to take my spiritual gifts. I'm going to gift them around to the world and do what we got to do. We have to help people because I'm getting that same feeling in my soul. Like I think I've done this before, but we failed, or like I failed, or I had karma to go through, or it wasn't the right time. Where in a different part of my life or a different life altogether, I was offered the opportunity, but then quickly
walked
reprimanded,
away,
and yeah, exactly. And then we
walked away.
and we just sort of like close it off, and then we reinforce it. And we're like, oh no, no, and then and ends up coming in the story of negative language that I would use to just distract people from thinking that this was something super powerful, but it really is. And even some people are just like, what are you guys even talking about? And we're talking about like this connection of your consciousness to love, healing,
Yeah.
providing, creating. Like, what did you come to this planet to do? And some people it's help others, and for other people it's change the world. For some people it's just help themselves have a human experience. Wherever you are, it's not a problem. Like you don't have to, just because you're not here to change the world doesn't mean you're not entitled to your own earth space. But this is a playground, so we should be having fun. We should be making love. We should be creating babies. We should be inspiring more people to live in abundance, as opposed to
Yes.
like opening back to our wizard self. So I mean, maybe it might be a good segue to start talking about an in-depth conversation, especially during today. This is a powerful portal about currency, wealth, the magnetism behind it, the wizardry of the energy that we're in, why this conversation spawned out of a business somehow. Like we got really deep there about like our DNA and like
True.
what we're sent here to do. And people are like, okay, so how do I use this in an ad? Or like, how do I, go and talk to a client with this? For me, it's about getting spiritually clear so that the other person sees themselves in you, and their world reflects something that you shine onto them, and you end up being an answer to their prayers. So this is where I kind of marry the two, spiritual with wealth consciousness. But
Hmm.
it was funny because you this was the thing you were chewing on when you were talking about this. Have you come to clarity about this topic, or do we still need to hash it out in terms of currency, wealth, wizardry, energy? You were putting an idea together around that. Do you want to speak on that for us?
So yeah, I was you were picking my thoughts just then because I did want to bring it into the word wealth and abundance and prosperity. So it's really great. We did come from, we did meet because we're both involved in a specific business, and um, the thing is that
Let me
the
quickly
way.
just add this before you hold that thought. You're getting a comment here. Oh my goddess, I'm so awake right now. So much to process. This is so much clarity of everything that's come through since we had our session. So that's Angelique, really great friend of mine. And so yes, you said the thing is,
Yeah, so uh, we all have different areas of our life that we live in, and some of this negative stuff will show up more profound or pronounced in one area than in the other. However, most people have it showing up negatively in one area of their life. The way I came to, can we talk about the water just for a minute?
Yep.
Can we just talk about water just for a minute? I won't say the water, I'll just say water. So so I met you in July last year, and there was a big shift and movement going on in my healing practice, like actually physically, literally, I was moving addresses. And as that shifted, as we literally shifted from one location to another, I realized the biggest shift I did was I didn't have to work as hard as what I had previously. So that struggle had started to dissipate. And it was almost like we've been in the new location maybe for about 8 months, and it's just effortless. It's so beautiful. So this is how it is when you're in your flow. Now, you know, a lot of people have issues around relationships, wealth, money, all those things. So when I started to look at the word wealth and frequency and currency, this is where you and I started to go, oh my gosh, yes. And I said, yeah, you know, currency, it's our frequency, our vibration. We can only ever manifest in the realm of what our currency is. So if in our currency there's something lacking, but currency comes down to self-worth. You know, is your currency reflecting in you what other people think of you? You know, have you really addressed your own self-worth, who you are as a sovereign being? You know, we are sovereign beings. So sovereignty, wealth, abundance, prosperity, they're all an energy, a currency, a frequency that we need to really embody. So I love breaking words up. And for me, when I started incorporating wealth and wealthy in a lot of my posts, because it used to make me feel uncomfortable to use the word wealth and to talk about money. So I looked at the word wealth, and then, you know, it just broke itself up, wealthy, and it just showed itself as the true essence of being wealthy is we heal together. We all heal together. We're whole. You know, to have a wealth of knowledge, wealth of wisdom, wealth of sharing, a wealth of understanding, a wealth of compassion, of inclusion, of connection. It's, you know, how beautiful is that? And to activate those qualities within our own currency, our own self-worth, our own wholeness, and then prosper within that currency, like prosper in all areas of our lives. That's what we're here to do. We're here to have an amazing life. That doesn't mean you're not going to have challenges, but look at the challenges as opportunities to actually grow from them, to create more. So instead of creating from a contracting space to creating from an expansion. So prosperity is a beautiful word. I love it. I always think of my granddad when I think of prosperity. He was a very wise old soul, and you know, we may not have had everything, but we had everything.
Right.
And then activating your essence of prosperity, shifting your currency, then takes you through to evolution, to evolving into a higher level of consciousness, a more expanded level of conscious awareness, and making choices in your life from that state. So it's almost like there's a you know so people think that they've got to go out and earn more money, create more, put more time and effort into it. It's actually the reverse. So the result of receiving money or having greater wealth in your life is not necessarily that you have to go out there and try harder and be in the struggle. It's actually going back to becoming really centered in your energy field, releasing everyone else's that's sitting in there, giving voice to your inner critic. And just know that you're actually whole to start off with. You're just experiencing different aspects of your life, different facets of your life, a different conditional state of love. So now I love words like wealth and prospering, and I love, well, connection. That's easy. We're born connected.
That's right. But the first thing we get is disconnected. They cut the cord. And then we go through this whole process of separateness and me versus the world. And and it dulls our senses. And I think that's one of the most beautiful parts of the human story is that, you're going to lose your wings. And then some people reclaim them, or some people lose them further until they finally reclaim them. But this existence that we live in, it's unbelievable. And you've just struck on so many chords. It felt like you were just playing me like a harp with that, because wealth conversation is one of the biggest challenges that I've ever had inside of my life. And so this is what set me on the path I've been on, is that you have to help other people get what they want in their life. That's one of the biggest markers of success. And that's why I pride myself on being a wealthy and successful person, is because I take a pride in helping other people achieve that. And because I do this within a name, and I literally raise the vibration of your name. But I don't know where you've been. I don't know what happened to you. I don't know how it actually manifested in your life. This is where Francesca came and plugged in some really powerful stuff that shared with me what the difference was between where I was vibrating and where I thought I wanted to at a higher level. So this is why it gets really cool, because I guess we're at the time where we should probably start wrapping up. But this is a perfect segue into explaining how you guys can acknowledge this the same way that I did. I taught her numbers. She taught me Palladium light work. And then, I did her session again. Then she shared her session with me. We've been doing this thing back and forth, and it's been unfolding layers and layers of understanding and insight that has profoundly changed the landscape of how I look at myself in the mirror. Can you, I just think about that for a second. Think about how wealthy you would be. You're listening to this, watching us now. How wealthy would you be if you looked at yourself in the mirror and you were just like, and you kind of got it, and you just kind of felt good about yourself for once, instead of being like, oh, too much here, not enough here, and maybe if I suck it in and if I look at it at a certain angle, and we get caught doing that. And yet, and to say that you helped me in my most inner space in my heart, and I'm pointing my head, but the inner space in my being, it made me feel like you've done something super profound. So before we got together, we were like, all right, let's throw our chips into the pot here. Okay, let's go all in. Let's help people through this. Let's create a coaching program. Let's create a coaching program that works like this. You would get your one-on-one time with Francesca, and you get your one-on-one time with me, and whoever you go with first talks to the other. So we're going to have a conversation with you, about you, together with you, right? And then we'll break off and do our own conversations with each other, in the interest of helping you activate, helping you get to a better place in your life, helping you to acknowledge some of the vibrational deficiencies in your name. I mean, if you get really technical, and then also with that new bigger cup, to actually go in, dive deep, and go and heal some of the things that are going to start to show up. Like for me, when I got my name, it took me on a vicious cycle of self-loathing and abuse. And at the other end of it now, I thank God I'm alive, and I'm here, and I'm gonna help people as a part of the journey. But I'd like to shorten the 3-year goal of getting over yourself to a good solid 3 weeks, 3 months, You know, for some people, it still will take a year and a half, 3 years. It's okay. You know, you've got time. But the reality is that you have to pick the people you want to work with. There is a plethora of people out there who are
Mm,
doing what we do. Okay, we're not the only people on the market, but we are the ones with our hearts. We are the ones with our energy from our perspective in our country of the planet and our little spiritual soul family who are opening the doors and inviting you guys in to actually work with us. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. You're gonna set in some time with us. There's gonna be two levels for this. Okay, there's gonna be your level one. Okay, so it's gonna be 444 and you get 1 hour with each of us, and then we'll do a connecting call. Okay, I think that's fair.
yep,
That we connect and have an assessment call between the three of
yep,
us, but then we break off and do our own calls together. Okay, and then whoever you do it with first, then the second, based on timing and whatever. Then we'll have a conversation again before you go through your next session, so we can actually get this thing settled and sorted. Okay, so that's 444 level one. Then there's level two. Now this one's going to be 888, and we're charging US dollars here. So just in case anybody's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing to us?" I will accept any payment plan. That's absolutely the divine code for you to be able to figure that out. I promise you, we'll work with you. But 888 gets you 4 sessions. This gets you a chance to work with me once, and it gets a chance to work with Francesca once. Then you work with me twice, or vice versa, and then you work with her twice. This is going to be a very powerful, full immersion, full activation to not only get your chart and your instruction manual, but then also to get a playbook for the current season, the next season over. Then with Francesca, you're going to be able to go and get a full-on integration of what's going on deep. Actually, maybe you might want to talk about what would it look like to work with you in a two-session form. Like, I know that the mind is just going here. I can feel you. How would you offer into this? How this would work in conjunction with your name and your path and the years you're with?
well, what we would do is pretty much look at so people usually come with a story of what's going on for them, and I listen to the story, I accept what they have to say. However, when I connect, I really connect with their soul. And so according to what you've done with them, I would then go and clear anything that is still blocking the full immersion of the vibration that you're wanting to bring in, or you are bringing in by altering or tweaking the name, so they can actually integrate and assimilate that vibration with ease. And in the 2 session one, they will get full energetic support while there's integration going on. So I normally offer that after a session. So that session can be, that could include your personal life, people in your life, your lineage, anything that might affect your children. However it's structured on the day and in the session is what I go with. So there's not an actual map that I give, except the tools are, as you know, they're the tools I use. But what the holographic field of that person is going to show me, I won't know until I connect with them.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing is I found it really helpful when I had energetic support when I first started this journey of Palladian light work years ago. And so I love to offer that support with people, and it might just be like a text message, or, I had someone message me at 11 o'clock the other night. They were having a really tough time. And I always say to people, you don't have to do it alone, and you don't have to do it tough. We have these beautiful, beautiful supportive tools to actually assist you. So they really, like, it's not just a 2 1-hour sessions. There's lots that happens in between.
Absolutely.
Just
But I mean, like, and to think, just quickly add to this, just to play devil's advocate on this, it's so seldom that people actually go into their own area, like to sit you down for an hour and actually like unfold on you could be one of the most important quintessential pieces of your makeup that you need to do, that as parents, partners, spouses, leaders, we never take the time to actually go in there and do this. This is that part of personal development that goes into personal discovery and self-discovery.
Mm,
So when you were
mm,
saying that, I was like, okay, so this is how it's going to work. I will set up the vibration and open the box and give you a new outfit. And then with that comes a profound experience of saying, now you can handle some of this stuff. And then once you have this eye-opening experience, awakening of the soul, then it comes in for another round where it says, okay, now that you're in your outfit and you're running and you're actually going, where are you going? What does the next stages look like on this finite map, this 3D reality? And then with that understanding of, okay, now I'm not just focused on the inside, I can actually focus on the outside. Then the bigger healing and the bigger, deeper work comes in. It's almost like kind of rechecking the work and going even further. Because once you sift and sort, this challenge, this new array of information unfolds. Because there's no longer the I'm holding myself up vibration and my arm is really sore. Now that I can actually put myself down and actually, like interact as a human being, what new thing can I actually accomplish inside of my life? And even when we're working with people, I can do some pretty powerful, amazing things. And I say that very humbly to acknowledge the people who have gotten pregnant, the people who have made a lot
mm,
of money, the people who have dealt with loss in their life or helped name their kids, help become better parents. Like, I'm not kidding around with this stuff. And especially
mm,
when I'm coming to you guys being like, you guys need to work with this woman. Like, trust me, Francesca knows what she's talking about. Like, I get that there, like, you guys, it's hard to quantify, but from the bottom of my heart, the bottom of my soul, take the time to invest in yourself and to actually do this. We're not gonna force you, but I would love to share that with you. So you got the mini package at the level 1 and what we call level 2, a full immersion program. And I would really suggest and recommend that that's where people start, or that's what they do. But
mm,
hey, if you just want 1 hour, one each, and you're on your way, absolutely, we'll love you and leave you, and there's no problem. But anybody who books in and anybody who takes advantage of this, you're still being invited to my personal mastermind of private clients. I'm still going to be offering you guys ongoing discounts and special promotions, free gifts, things that you can absolutely work on and use and take advantage of, and all inside of numerology. But now I'm getting a really big spiritual hand helping me and being like, look, I'm holding a car, and you're like, I got the other side, and now we can actually lift this up and get you out properly. Because when it's just me and you, it's you and I lifting the car. But when if it's three of us, now suddenly it's both of us are lifting the car, and this is the time for us to collaborate. So I hope you guys found
mm.
a lot of value in this. Francesca, I wanna like wind this up. So
Yep.
can we have another spit reel? Can you say something and can you divine on us? I know that there's still more to be said, so I do want to acknowledge that space for you to give people more of this because they absolutely are. This is a powerful conversation. It's a very powerful conversation. But can you add on and double over this before we close it off for the night?
As far as what we're offering,
What we're
or just in
offering,
general?
why you should be here, why you should take advantage of this. What would you say to the person who's kind of sitting on the fence, or all of that feeling? Can you kind of open up on that, maybe, or maybe there's just a spiritual message you need to share? Angelique says,
Well,
"Okay, so I am so all in. I need to chat with both of you privately." Angelique is a wonderful friend of mine for sure. You're gonna have an absolute amazing conversation with her. But take it away.
so I was just going to say the people that really will appeal to are the ones that are already feeling like they want to create change. They want to create a different way of life for themselves and their children. They don't want to stay in the same systems that we have been operating in. They can feel, they know they're here to do something. They may not know what it is. They may feel like they're lacking confidence, that they'll get to a stage in their life, they start to lose their confidence. They start to wonder about, did they miss their timing? There's lots of, or people might feel like no matter what they do or try, the same old thing will happen. So these are the kind of people that will be attracted to create change. So when we stand up and no longer have to live life where we're pushing, we're actually just being rather than doing. It's such a different way of living life. when you're just being, not doing, not having to do more, be more, you know, feel like the world is against you and it's such a struggle. So like these are the kinds of people that are attracted to actually change their life, change their systems of belief, change the way they've been affected and influenced by their upbringing. And there's a whole story on that. And people are really, really ready to give up the blame game and the judgment game because it doesn't serve anyone. That doesn't mean that you and I go through our days not doing that. We're still going to have those challenges. It's just our approach to it that will change. It's usually when you're triggered by someone, and you might be triggered by something I say. You may have been triggered by something I said in your session, but all that is how that is showing up is that we've actually judged a part of ourselves or a part of our behavior, something we did. We've actually judged it. And so when we see it outside of ourselves, it gets triggered. So it's definitely not about you know what it is? It's about breaking down the conditioning of ego. Ego is it's like we have our higher consciousness, we have our lower consciousness. Our lower consciousness is our ego. And our ego is made up of conditional states of being where we're stuck. But our true essence is actually just screaming out to be seen, heard, acknowledged, and loved. And integrated back into love, into our light, into our essence. So it's really profound work. It's definitely not, we don't deal with just the superficial layers, as you know. We actually really do dig deep. And when you're working with someone's name, it's wonderful to be able to uplift the vibration of the name that, you know, may have been stuck in some real, like, ancestral slavery, or it's wonderful. It's so good to actually assist a soul to recognize their own light and embody it. I just love it. I love the work that I do. I love the connection with people. I love when they open up and feel their own essence, you know, and their heart opens, and it's just so beautiful. And I really see the numerology and the work that I do, like what you do and what I do, as a beautiful blending and collaboration in being able to assist people as a whole. So I'm so grateful that we have come together and connected and are offering this, because it really is like a round package. Like it's I felt that when we first started speaking about it. I felt like that you're coming in from a different area than I do, and then together we're actually helping some souls realize some beauty about themselves.
This is so cool. My hands are like just buzzing, and like as you're saying this, I'm like, spirit's telling me things, and I'm like hearing this in my soul. This to like we'll do events and retreats, and that we're gonna create programs and based on this. And you're a person of quality and absolutely a blessing of a friend to have in my life. And I appreciate you, love you so much for everything you've been able to do for me, and the figure of authority that you've been inside of my world is second to none. And I can't wait for you guys to absolutely experiencing this. Angelique says, yes, I'm buzzing too. I'm like, you can feel it, right? You can feel this. And so we're going to have a lot of fun, guys. This is going to be a great experience for you guys all. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you.
The best word for this is profound. And I know that we're in the thick of battle, guys. Like the fight for light is on, and we're winning, and we are winning. And it's funny because there's there's a vibration of the planet. You can measure this from space, and they measure the vibration level frequency of the planet, and it's been going up it's been going
Mm.
up and it's been spiking, and we're all getting to this manifestation point where
Yeah.
the global consciousness is actually rising. So don't believe the propaganda, don't believe the fear mongering, don't believe the
Yeah.
news, don't watch that stuff. But the reality is that we are actually growing, and it's because there are people like us who are no longer afraid. We're absolutely going to stand in our power, and I appreciate you coming out of your shell, if that's what you want to call it, or coming out of hiding, or serving your purpose as a human woman to now be a spiritual source of power and wisdom for us all. I want to leave you guys with a really powerful thing here. It's about 4 minutes to go before we get to 3:33, I believe. Okay, so there's another gateway portal, if you will, that's about to happen in the next few minutes. And I want you guys to look at this. Okay, so imagine you're with us here and you're like, we're all in the same campfire. This is the digital campfire that we're all around. And you're looking at the flame, you're listening to us, you're watching this energy, you're feeling it, you're buzzing. What is that buzz? What's that thing that's bubbling up? What's that fizzy feeling that's coming up to the top end? It's because all of this old energy or old ancient stuff that you've been fighting with, dealing with, going through your lifetimes and other lifetimes have all been sort of percolating to this moment where you get a chance to just be like, I'm shoveling this in already. I'm not even going to wait for the finish of your prayer. I'm just going to throw all of this stuff into the fire because it no longer serves me, and I let it go in love and I let it go in power so that actually I reclaim more spiritual space on your shelf, because this is going to be one of the most profound things that you do is reclaim the power within your soul. So you guys are watching this live, or you're watching or listening to the recording. I implore you to take this moment and to throw in, like, you can just think about this and you'd be like, I'm going to throw this bag of stuff that's been holding me back. You can think about this. Is it your wealth consciousness? I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I'm too tall. I'm too short. I can't find the love of my life. Or me and my husband are always fighting. Me and my wife are always arguing. Or my kids hate me. Or I can't stand my kids. Or whatever shows up inside of your life that you feel is this limiting factor, this piece of you that makes you feel timid, this part of you that makes you feel unsure. Go ahead and put that in front of you. Give it a nice hug for the last time and throw it into the fire with us, because there is a spiritual renewal, a spiritual light bath. And a fire is a bit of a strong word. Let's call it like a light bulb fire, or a light bulb that's going off. Sorry, go
Rainbow
for it.
flame. A rainbow
Rainbow
flame.
flame. She was doing this stuff. She was like, "Trust me, it's gonna be kind of cool. Just listen me out." And she's like, "Boom, boom, throw some rainbow flame on that." I'm like, "Whoa!" So throw it into the rainbow fire, okay, and let that
Yeah.
ride the consciousness wave back to the source, back to the
Yes.
universe, back to God, back to its place. It can handle it. It can handle your ego. It can handle the things you're dealing with in your planetary life thing you're dealing with, okay? Like, you don't have to worry about, oh no, I can't give that back to the earth. I can't go ground. I can't go let it go. You can. You absolutely can. It's a begging of the universe to be like, just give it back to me. The same
Yeah.
way I look at my little girl running with something she shouldn't be running with, I'm begging her, just give it back to daddy. You'll be a lot better after you're done. And the same way that we can look, the universe wants to see you grow, wants to see you profitable, wants to see you help people, but most of all, wants to see you laugh and smile and enjoy love. That's what you came here to do. And this is why I've enlisted people like Francesca inside of my life and my path, or I should say she's enlisting people like me, but we're colliding forces to actually create a much bigger rainbow flame for you all. But I appreciate you guys so much. We got less than a minute to go. Any closing comments or thoughts or words?
Oh, just thank you everyone for joining us. I still can't see the comments, so I'm relying on
Sure.
you. And
Yeah, just
um,
I'm buzzing. Love it. You're amazing. Both to chat with you privately, but people are just as stunned as I am. So
yeah, so yeah, really looking forward to working with more people and allowing more light in or out, depending on which way you look at it. And I really love the way you captured that. That was really brilliant.
thank you.
So
There
yeah,
was one more thing. We're
yes,
gonna do a group session. We have to do a group session. Okay,
yep,
so there will be an invite to spend a couple hours with us at a mastermind webinar for like maybe 2 to 3 to 4 hours. I don't know how long we're gonna do this, but there will be an opportunity to do that. I just haven't set it forth yet, but I wanted to just quickly surprise put that in there for anybody who's curious and wants to sit with us we absolutely will make it happen. It's going to happen for sure. Just to let you guys know. Okay, so stay tuned for
Cool.
that. If you do want to take advantage of our special offer, you can get that on my site, www.bobbyfperryhar.xyz. It will be there. Or you can go ahead and chat with Francesca. You can chat with Bobby and be like, I want the 444 or I want the 888 deal. Let's do this. Commit, decide, and let's change your life forever. I love you guys so much,
Yes.
and I love you so much, Francesca. Thank you so much for being in my
Thank you,
life. I
Bobby. Lots of
appreciate
love.
you. We've
Thank
completed. You
you.
guys have a great day, a great night, wherever you are in the world, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, take care. Bye.
Thank you.